What's going on? It's your man Louie T here with another Redskins film breakdown from the debauchery that was Monday Night Football versus the New Orleans Saints. 43-19. Saints take care of the Redskins. We've already had a chance to take a look at the offense. Now I want to take a look at the defense. And what I found watching this back a second time is that this Redskins defense was game early on, and they got stops, but there were self-inflicted wounds that I thought really affected the psyche of this team. There's no excuse for the mental breakdowns that the Redskins had, giving up big plays with little to no resistance and a lot of broken and busted coverages. But early on in this game, before the penalties and before Drew Brees really started to get surgical, this defense had a shot. They came out and they played inspired football. Unfortunately for them, they could not get out of their own way. And I want to take a look at some plays that pretty much was a microcosm of the night for the Redskins versus the Saints. So we start here with the first possession, fourth play of that possession. And this is the first play after the Redskins got their first stop of the game, but Josh Norman flagged for holding, and thus Saints get an automatic first down. And so right after that, you get this first snap, and you'll see the tight end go into motion here. And the Saints did this a lot on the night where Michael Thomas was in the slot, and they took advantage of the linebackers in zone coverage. And what Zach Brown has to realize here is that he's got inside responsibilities. He's got outside help with Swearinger in zone coverage. So he needs to be jumping anything inside and really overplaying the inside because there is no help for him on the inside. All of his help is towards the outside. He doesn't understand that principle. That's a lot of times why you see Zach Brown coming off the field in obvious passing situations. Saints took full advantage of him being on the field in the base package because it's first down and the Redskins don't know if it's a run or a pass. They leave Zach Brown on the field. They take full advantage. Great job by Saints, Drew Brees and company taking advantage of Zach Brown in the slot in zone coverage. And again, our linebackers are a liability in zone coverage. Every single one of them, especially Zach Brown and Mason Foster. And you saw that a lot on this night as the Saints took full advantage of putting two tight ends on the field, making the Redskins stay in their base and taking advantage of them being in their base with Zach Brown in coverage. As you can see here, Brown needed to jump inside. And being that DJ Swearinger was on the outside, as I already mentioned, he should have been overplaying the inside. Drew Brees sees this right off the snap and is going to take full advantage, something that the Redskins failed to do with the same opportunity. That's the same throw that Alex Smith could have made to Vernon Davis on the very first snap of the game after play action fake. He failed to pull the trigger. Drew Brees, however, not gun shy. He makes the play, and it's a nice gain for a first down. So now this is a situation a couple of plays later where you're just so frustrated because the Redskins defensively, they're just not smart. And you got to feel screen. You got to understand what the offense is trying to do to you. And the Redskins ran a screen to Chris Thompson in this game. And the Saints defensive tackle, Sheldon Rankins, ran it down from behind. Why? Because he identified screen early on, didn't go up the field as the offensive linemen were inviting him to do. He read screen and he made the play. If he doesn't make that play, Chris Thompson is not only going to get a first down, but he's going to get a big gain similar to what the Saints get here. Somebody has to recognize screen. The only guy that kind of recognized it but really didn't react to it was Jonathan Allen. Everybody else went up the field as the offensive line invited them to do. And here you get a big play down inside the Redskins 5-yard line. You got to be smarter. You got to understand what an offense is trying to do. You know good and well you're not getting in that easily. Something's up. You got to sniff out screen and react to it. Redskins simply did not react accordingly. And again, the good defenses in this league sniffed that out and they minimized the game. The Redskins simply not up to the task. Somebody's got to recognize screen here as you get the end zone copy. Somebody's got to see what's going on. There is no excuse for this play to be as big of a gainer as it was. As you look at these guys rushing in, look at what the offensive line is doing. They're inviting these guys. It looks like a run, and they're inviting these guys in. And at some point, someone has to realize what is going on here. And really, that's a great job of the Saints selling run. And really, somebody's got to step up. Norman had a chance right there to blow the play up. Instead, he takes a passive aggressive route on the outside and gets cut. If he comes in reckless, abandoned to the inside, maybe he blows that play up. But instead of doing that and putting his body on the line, he decides to stop and make a business decision and still gets cut and chopped down on the play. And so it's guys going the extra mile to make a play. And you don't see that happening with this Redskins defense right now, as we'll see a little bit later on, and with Pernell McPhee and a fumble. And so you get a big gain down to the 2. So this play, along with the Drew Brees record breaker, were the 2 most sickening plays defensively of the night for the Redskins. And this one sucks because you make a great defensive play. Rookie Daron Payne sniffs out. We've already been hit with the screen, so now he's a little bit more aware, and that's good to see that guys making adjustments on the fly. So the Saints try to come back with another form of a screen. Daron Payne sniffs this one out, sees what's going on, doesn't go up the field, gets to Ingram, and gets the football loose. Now watch Pernell McPhee coming around Drew Brees, tippy-toeing his way to the football. Instead of him hauling ass and diving on that football, he tries to pick it up. Why? I don't know, but it was his lack of effort that allowed the guy that fumbled the football to then get back up and pounce on the football and save the possession for the Saints. This had a chance to be a monumental play in the football game early on, and instead the Saints recover the football and wind up getting in the end zone just a mere 5 or 6 plays later. These are the types of plays you have to make as a defense. I talked about this on the Redskins report. If we get opportunities to recover a fumble or force a turnover, we've got to take advantage. This was a golden opportunity created by a young fella making a play, and unfortunately, a veteran in Pernell McPhee couldn't take advantage. Look at McPhee come around, and like I said, this is in slow motion, so it doesn't really do it as much justice, but look at McPhee just kind of slow playing it, trying to go pick it up. Instead of him diving on that football, it's reminiscent of Cam Newton in the Super Bowl when he had a chance to potentially get on a fumble. This was way worse, though, because Newton may not have gotten this. McPhee would have definitely gotten in there first had he hustled his ass over there and dove on the football. So with that fumble, you get a loss of 8. It set up a 2nd and 18. Brees then connected with Austin Carr for 10 yards to set up 3rd and 8. And this was when the Redskins were still alive in this game and the defense was still vibrant. And Greg Minuski was still dialing up pressures, and I never understood why he stopped. But this is a great example of what the Redskins should have been doing all night long. And I would have preferred to see the Redskins fall on their sword, being aggressive instead of sitting back in zone coverage. They send a blitz with 6 guys. Monte Nicholson, one of the guys that came on the play, and they hit home here. And Kerrigan gets his first sack of the season. And everything seems great. Redskins getting off the field here on a 3rd down. And then, as you can see, Monte Nicholson with the most egregious penalty of the night. And probably the part of the game, maybe the moment this game turned on its head and the Redskins could never really regain momentum, was that senseless penalty by Monte Nicholson, allowing the Saints to convert on a 3rd down in which Drew Brees was sacked and they were going to have to punt the football. As you can see, the Redskins are stalking the line of scrimmage and they're looking to come with pressure. Nicholson also coming up to the line of scrimmage. And so the Redskins are going to bring 6 here. As you can see, Preston Smith walking around. You got Mason Foster walking around. Nicholson is going to come as well. And so the 6 guys you see in the screen are the 6 guys that come with pressure here. And you can see they hit home here. They pressure Brees, and there's nowhere for him to go with the football. And here comes Kerrigan scot-free up the middle, and boom. Just like that, Redskins are going to get off the field, and that's a huge defensive boost there. And all of a sudden, look at Monte being foolish. That's as dumb as it gets right there. And bad football teams or teams that aren't good, they do stupid things, and that's what happened there. So after the senseless penalty by Monte Nicholson that extends the Saints' drive, they're on the move. And all the Saints did here, they're going to send Alvin Kamara in motion. is they flip the side of the field and they're running the exact same play with Michael Thomas in the slot, running an over route on the linebackers in zone coverage. This time, Mason Foster is the guilty culprit that gives it up. And Thomas wide open. Breeze does the same exact thing. Waits a little bit longer than he did the first time when he hit him over the middle of the football field. But same result. Big play up the field inside the Redskins 15-yard line. And it's these types of plays that get you beat. Your end zone coverage, and guys aren't playing their responsibilities. Instead of them zone matching or pattern matching, guy runs into your zone, you run with him. They're playing blades of grass. They're playing an area, and that's not winning football on the defensive side of the football when you're in zone coverage. Mason Foster has to understand that Michael Thomas is running through his zone and that you have to match him. He is your guy now, and he didn't do that. And all the Redskins linebackers were looking to do was play an area and get depth, and it wasn't enough. And it'd be great if you got pass rush here to disrupt the timing of this play. But as you can see, guys up front, Jonathan Allen was winning. Look, he gets double teamed. So the one guy that tried to win and get some pressure couldn't do it by himself. Wide open Michael Thomas. There's no reason for Mason Foster to be in zone coverage with, again, bad scheme with Michael Thomas. But that's the Saints. Give them credit for scheming it up to get their best receiver on a linebacker for the second time early in this football game. So this is the same drive that was extended by the penalty on Monte Nicholson. Now they're inside the 5-yard line at the 2, and another penalty helped extend this drive as Quentin Dunbar was flagged for holding on third down, in which the Saints would have had to settle for a field goal. So again, you're seeing a defense that ultimately defeated themselves in this football game, and the Saints didn't need any help. So we're going to take another look at this play because this is smart defenses don't give this up. You force a team to have to get in another way. This is a simple play action fake where you're sending out a couple of tight ends and a guy into the flats, and you're looking to get somebody free. And the Redskins bit the bait, unfortunately. So both tight ends are open, as you can see. If he didn't throw it to Hill, look at the back of the end zone. Look at Ben Watson, wide ass open. I mean, he had his pick of the litter of who he wanted to throw it to on that play. We weren't disciplined enough. Mason Foster was supposed to be with Benjamin Watson. He goes in and blitzes because he thinks it's a run. Inexplicably leaves his man uncovered. Josh Norman bites up on the run, again, as if he's going to go and stop the running back. And so you find yourself with multiple guys open. Look at Mason Foster. His responsibility is Benjamin Watson. He isn't even looking at Watson at all. Zach Brown is supposed to have Ingram. And so Mason Foster comes in. Watson's wide open. Norman should have that tight end. He bites up on run. And so you've got multiple ways to get in the end zone there. And it's just undisciplined football by veteran players not playing their responsibility, trying to play hero ball. So here you have a 2nd and 20 after a holding penalty on the Saints pushes them back. And this is, if you're the Redskins, right where you want them. And this is one of the most confusing coverages of the night. I really don't understand what the Redskins are in, whose responsibility is what. Dunbar's beat on this play. Moreau is beaten on this play. Zach Brown is 40 yards down the field. That is a no-no. I don't honestly know what the hell is going on this play. And the frustrating part is nobody did anything of note on this play. Everyone was beaten. It looked like a defense that was confused. Dunbar looks like he's playing some form of cover 3, maybe cover 4. But his guy got behind him, so he didn't do his job. Moreau, I don't know what the hell he's doing. He gets up looking confused, as you can see there. He's looking for help. I don't know what Moreau was doing, but DJ Swearinger comes down into the box. So as an underneath defender, I don't know what this play was supposed to be. Norman on the opposite side of the field, he's jamming at the line of scrimmage and releasing, and he didn't get any depth. So I really don't know. Look at Zach Brown bailing on this play and getting about 30 yards down the field. Again, that's a recipe for disaster. Redskins get a little bit of pressure, but Breeze just simply steps up. And look how wide open Cam Meredith is. I mean, what is going on this play? On a 2nd and 20, no less, you finally put the Saints behind the chains and down in distance, and you give it up right away for a 48-yard gain inside the Redskins' 10-yard line. What the hell was that? That's bad football. That's how you get beat on the road 43-19. So here's the final play defensively that I want to get to tonight, and this is the creme de la creme here. This is the equivalent of, on the offensive side, Alex Smith missing Maurice Harris for a touchdown. I mean, it's as egregious as it gets. This is the blown coverage that gives Drew Brees the record, and this one is easy to identify who the culprit is here. It's Josh Norman. Here, and I talked about this. I saw it on the TV copy when it happened live, whose fault it was. 2 guys come up on Kamara in the flats. Norman was supposed to get deep there. Again, cover 3. Monte Nicholson with the middle third of the field. Josh Norman, and we'll go back here, as this is just so hard to stomach. The Redskins try to disguise this as cover 2. As a form of 2-man or a cover 2 with 2 high safeties. And then at the snap, Swearinger will come down and they'll shift into their cover 3 look. And so Swearinger's down as an underneath defender. So is Moreau. And Josh Norman is supposed to, and really Moreau could get a little bit more depth, but Monte Nicholson is supposed to be deep. And so is Josh Norman. Norman, just for whatever reason, is looking to make a play in the backfield, being nosy. And what they pretty much did was they put a 2-on-1 fast break on Monte Nicholson. It was a 2-way go. Both of those guys were wide open. Norman was supposed to be deeper than the deepest on that third, and Nicholson was supposed to be over the middle. And that one was a shit show. And it really was the culmination of what was a terrible half of football in which the Redskins had too many self-inflicted wounds. And then when opportunities presented itself, they failed to take advantage, whether it be a 3rd down stop and a penalty, a forced fumble and you can't recover, or you just simply get the Saints into a long down and distance situation and give up a big play. This was the microcosm defensively of the night for the Redskins here, as miscommunication and selfishness, because guys want to play hero ball, rear its ugly head here. And as you could see for much of the night, not a lot of pressure on Breeze. Breeze able to pump fake, shoulder fake, and readjust, and then throw a dime down the sideline to as open a receiver as you will find in this league in rookie Traquan Smith. Horrible angle by Monte Nicholson, but he shouldn't have been put in that situation. And the rest is literally history, as the Redskins give it up to Drew Brees, and Norman ends up getting benched behind that play.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, playing on Monday night is no different than playing on Sunday night for me. I'm just saying, playing it out. I played on the high stage of college football. I mean, what's the difference between Monday night and Sunday night? And 1 o'clock, it's football. I don't give a damn when we play. We could play Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to still be the same as I am today. Sunday night, Sunday morning, Saturday. I don't give a damn when we play. It's football. National stage. Now, it's always a national stage. I mean, like I said, I can only control what I control. I would have to watch the film before I can decide who was giving full effort. You know what I mean? So I really can't answer that question, because during the midst of the game, I'm not really looking to see if guys can get, you know what I mean? So hard for me to answer that question right now. Oh man, I mean, can't get much worse than we played today. So the only thing you can do is get up. And we don't got time to feel bad for ourselves. We got Cam Newton coming in. I don't think they give a damn about how we feeling. So we gotta go ride out and play for one another.
Well, we're back. We just heard from Jonathan Allen. We can't hear the words he's saying here, but we know he was quite upset. He said, look, the bright lights of Monday night is not too much. Granted, he does come from Alabama. He is used to bright lights, and he's used to players stepping up and performing their best. This team did not do that tonight. It is time for